Hey guys, how is everybody? I hope everyone's well. Well, what are we looking at here today? Well, you probably read the title by now. It's a potential project. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on it today, but I do know that I need a set of cases. I've got a 365 over here on the shelf. We got it out, was going to do some stuff with it. If you guys may remember the video, may not, and it ended up the front of the case half was busted where you bolt the dogs on. Now, I could just throw that saw on eBay, sell it as a parts unit, but I just don't care to do that. The saw has potential to be something really nice, and the potential lies right here in this set of cases that's got some seized up bearings in it. Crankshaft feels fine. This was a X-Torq saw, 2166. I actually have two top ends that look really nice. I'm half tempted to use them, but then again, X-Torq, so I'm half tempted not to use them and just sell them. But it is what it is. We don't have an X-Torq saw here in this series, but I don't think there's any using that piston. I think I have a good piston over there in that tote. I don't know, but what we have over here to the right, I've done shown them on another video, and I've sat here and cleaned on them a little bit, is another set of 2166 cases that still appears to have really good bearings in it. They feel really good. There's still, you know, quite a bit of drag on the seals like there should be. Could end up needing seals. If so, I've got a bunch of them laying here, but what I need to do today is get this tank assembly off of these cases and set these to the side where we can split them in the future and use them on the 365 that we have. These things are super simple to work on. One of the simplest series of saws that was ever made, I believe, and I'm not even joking. The 372 platform, just an amazing saw. I don't have to tell it, everybody knows it. If you don't own one and ain't ran one, you're missing out. If you've even got to pick up a Chinese one, go that route. You don't really tell any difference in running them, but something's telling me you wouldn't get the Chinese one to last near as long as I'd say this saw has. We're gonna have to buy a wiring harness. I don't even know if I have enough parts here to make one. It looks like the switch is robbed out of the handle, but I have a pile of switches here from Farmer Tech. Oh, now she is stuck. What it is, this thing has to twist a certain way to come down out of there. There it is. What we'll do with this set of cases is I'll just set them to the side over here, and then maybe in a future video, if you guys would like to see how to properly split a set of these cases. I've seen some crazy shit. I ain't even gonna lie. This thing's super filthy. It's in need of a fuel line. Wow. In need of a cap as well. There goes the strainer. Super exciting video, guys. I was honestly gonna put this tank assembly on those cases just so it would be done. Oh, the strainer's still on the fuel line. What an idiot. Honestly, upon further inspection, the fuel line's really not that bad. All I have here is Tygon. And to be brutally honest, we're probably better off with what we have there. It's not soft or rotten or anything. For now, I'm gonna say we're just gonna leave it. Send it. Because I'm just piecing it together enough to see what all I need to get anyway, to be honest with you. But damn, if she ain't filthy. Alright, y'all, I shut the video off. This thing was so nasty, I took it to the parts cleaner. It honestly needs the tank itself flushed out a couple more times. This dang fuel line feels okay, but just for peace of mind, once I get into the actual build of the saw, like I said, right now I'm just assessing what all we're going to need to do this. We'll probably order us up some of that line, which I have put Tygon in it. You just you got to put some crazy glue or Seal-All or something where it goes into the tank, or you end up leaking off a little bit of tank pressure over time. But what we're going to do now is put this tank assembly onto this good set of cases, and looks like I didn't even realize that the daggone card plate assembly is completely missing out of these cases. There's one in the box when I got the parts, so I'm assuming that's where it came from. Which will make this kind of easy to assemble. It went together a lot easier than they came apart, but a lot of it was just all that old grime and stuff that was all over the tank itself. I do have a starter cover, but it is busted all to pieces. So what we'll end up doing is picking up an aftermarket one and pulling the guts out of the OEM one and putting in it, because it's usually what kind of gives it up on the aftermarket starter covers. And a lot of the times the guts in them are okay, but the one I bought for my 2171, it just kind of killed itself right off the bat. But I had some OEM pulley and spring and stuff here that we put back in it, and you know, all seems well. One of my favorite saws, and I honestly have, and the thoughts are on this, is I have a big bore cylinder. I have a 272 piston. We have an X-Torq carb. I don't have a muffler, but you guys can kind of see what I'm getting at here, what I'm thinking about doing with this. May not buy a muffler, it may even go the route of some kind of a pipe on it, which I rarely ever do. The old Mac we just done, I ended up putting a pipe on that, which is really easy to make if you have a 700 or 55 muffler or something to start with. Completely freaking off topic, but what I'm going to do next is see if I can locate some more parts, mainly a handlebar. Kind of like, I've got to get the card plate out of that other chassis, so we'll do that first. Get that on it and get that squared away, and get a handlebar bolted on it, and we're missing an oil cap, and then I don't know how much more we'll do after that, guys. Alright guys, so I got the carb tray off of that other chassis. I get parts cleaner, get cleaned up really nice. This would honestly make a really nice saw with not a lot of parts, honestly. You know, worst case scenario, I've got to pop the flywheel on the clutch and put seals in it if it needs to be, but the bearings feel really good, they sound good. I'm guessing that's why the cases were with this saw, to, you know, swap them out. And, people cringing at that. Get this carb tray bolted down, and I don't know what else I'm going to do tonight. And we got one here about midways of the tray. I know there's people cringe when they see putting bolts in with the impact driver. Oh well, it is what it is, guys. Once you learn it, learn how much torque it puts out and what you can and can't do, you'll rarely use hand tools. Alright, this saw actually has the hose that goes down and has the elbow that kind of goes into the tank for the tank vent. That lined out. You guys can see how clean this saw is. There's still a little dirt that needs blowed out of it, but that was actually Simple Man that rung in. Probably heard my phone ring. I'm telling him how clean this saw was going to be. He's saying ditch the X-Torq and go with the big bore stuff, which I'll let you guys decide that. It's going to be a little bit before we get on into it. I've got two coils here. Most of you are going to know what that one is. I do have a black coil here, but I have no idea if it's any good. I'm sure it is. It's sitting over here in big box 372 parts, but worst come to worst, we can put the limited coil on it. I think it'll let them rev to about 13.5 or so. Someone can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but then again, if I do this the way I'm wanting to do it, use the X-Torq carb, the big bore top end. I've got a couple different pistons here, honestly. Maybe doing a pipe for it. If we do the 272 piston, that'll give me the ability to cut the band and the cylinder, and the bands in those Farmer Tech cylinders cut super easy. And we can get some really, really nice compression out of it. It is a windowed piston. There is some debate whether you would lose crankcase compression or not, but really don't matter that much. Some people are going to say I'm wrong and cringe on that, but a lot of guys out there with windowed pistons and quad loop outbound transferred cylinders and the ones I've seen seem to run really damn good, and the piston's a lot lighter as well. And it would help feed our finger ports a little better as well. But I think what I'm going to do next is dig out a handlebar and get the top plastic and lay on it, and that may be a wrap for this one. I mentioned this in another video, I don't know if you can see, but the difference in a 372 and the Jonsered handlebar. A lot of people probably don't know there's a difference, but Johnny handlebar is a little longer. Tank assembly is made just a little different. If you're looking for a full wrap, fit your Jonsered, or looking for a replacement handlebar in general, a little quick tip that I figured out here on my own. 385, 390 XP handlebar, full wrap, whatever you want. Bolt right on with no modifications at all. Direct fit. The full wrap that we had on Simple Man's, it was a 2188 to 390 conversion build. I actually had that handlebar on my 2171 for a little bit. That's how, and the handlebar that's on that saw now is actually the handlebar that was on the 2188 when we got it here, but it's identical to these 2171, 2166 handlebars. All of it made in Sweden. You'd think they just would have made all the handlebars fit each saw, if it makes any sense, instead of making 2 or 3 different damn handlebars for the same series of saw. I'm really glad that the bolts were left in that tank. Probably honestly end up pulling this back off when I go to do a cylinder. I'm gonna check around on eBay and see what the X-Torq cylinders I have laying here are actually worth, and maybe just parting ways with them things, you know, put the money towards other saw builds or something. But I've about got it in my head that I kind of want to do the big bore on this, and maybe make some kind of pipe. I don't know. It won't be an expansion chamber, I don't think. I'm just not that talented to, I could probably make something that looks like an expansion chamber, but, you know, the deal is would it help and work? You can always buy one off a dirt bike or something, but in a lot of cases it may actually be slowing the saw down or hurting it. Because they're called a tuned pipe for a reason. There's hot covers, you can see it's got the hole in it for the X-Torq cylinder. Like I said, I do have starter cover, but like the whole bottom corner of it's busted out. I don't think it's repairable. There's some places busted out of the top part of it as well, so we are going to have to look into getting a top starter cover for the saw. Guys, we had some technical difficulties with the cover. Two of the Jonsered covers I've had here that this has been the culprit on. The daggone, it's got a sleeve in here. It'll get froze up on the bolt and it spins. And it makes things a nightmare. We'll just leave it at that. But someone already had a different bolt in the back side of it. I think I've got one or two of those screws here somewhere for these covers. I think it's the same screw that honestly goes on a starter cover on these things as well. Got kind of a long sleeve screw. The 288s use a really long one, and it's always a nightmare trying to find one to go in them. There we go. Snugged up, it's good enough. See if I can find one. I'll pause you guys for the rear corner back here. I think what we got here will work. Maybe. Works close enough. The exact same bolt that's in the other side. That's actually a 372 case bolt. But I'll grab that starter cover and show you guys what I've got. It's pretty much garbage. But we can pick up an aftermarket one. It's not that big of a deal. I'm sure if I hunted around and found an OEM one, it'd probably cost more than what the whole damn saw's worth. Okay guys, so over there as you can see we have our deflector. But here's kind of the culprit on this starter recoil. I really don't think that's repairable. That's a pretty good break, honestly. I've repaired some sketchy looking stuff before, but yeah, I think that one's just more or less garbage, guys. But as you can see, it does have a good pulley, good rope. We'll just pick us up an aftermarket cover to go on it. I'm not even going to try to attempt to fix that. I looked, I do have two black coils laying over there in the box of parts. That's a good thing. One of them looked a little better than the other, but I'm sure between the two, one of them will work. So we'll just have to see. That's probably going to be a wrap on this video. I'll look into getting a starter cover, figure out something to muffler or a pipe. I don't know that I have a good intake boot here. I don't know that when you do the X-Torq carb swap, I'm not 100% sure at what all goes into that. I'll have to look into that. I know a lot of guys do it and don't seem to have a lot of trouble. We'll just have to see. I found the other X-Torq piston. It looks good, but the rings are stuck in it. I normally wouldn't have a problem getting those out, but as heavy as that piston was, I just don't think I want to go with that setup. I think I'd rather just use the old school stuff on it and, you know, build something that we're going to actually enjoy, something to have fun with. But anyway, this video probably way damn longer than it ever needed to be, just fooling with junk here. One man's junk's another man's treasure. You guys stay safe and everybody have a good day.